Hi, I'm Ray Bay,
And I'm Gianna Renee.
and this is Bae Talk. Okay, so we'll be getting into our hot topics.
So what's new, Bae?
So, recently, just piggybacking off of us talking about Alabama and Danny, Bad Baby. Bad Baby was recently on Ari's cooking show on YouTube, and she mentioned how she got molested twice, 3 to 6 and 13 to 16. So allegedly, she got molested by her mom's ex-boyfriend. We don't know his name. And allegedly, she really did though, got molested by that tall bodyguard, Frank, from 13 to 16. And then she also mentioned that at the camp she was at for Doctors Phil, other kids were also being molested. And so that's just really, heartbreaking, and it just is a product of why she acts the way she acts now.
Yeah, I think hearing her speak on it now, she had a very calm manner about it too, so I definitely believe her when she said it. It definitely explains a lot. Like if you go back and look at like her Dr. Phil clips and how she was towards her mom, she was extremely angry towards her mom. She was lashing out. She was writing horror on the walls. Like she was doing a lot.
Yeah, and also she set up her mom for the heroin
For
charge.
the heroin charge.
Yeah.
It was a lot, and you know you're looking at her on Dr. Phil, and you're just like, oh, she's so bad, and I don't, her mom didn't know what to do with her, but baby, you knew what you did, for her to be acting that way, and that explains why she let her get away with a lot, as far as stealing the cars, her just leaving, her acting in the way she does. It's starting to make a lot of sense now. Granted, she turned that hurt into money, but still the way that she's making her money, you could tell that it is coming from a lot of pain. And now she's in a position to where she can like talk about it a little bit more. Maybe she feels more comfortable, because when she was on Dr. Phil, I think she was about like 14 or 15. She was real young. So that's just extremely sad. And then now we're just seeing it play out, because a lot of people can pass a lot of judgment on her just based off of like what we do see and how she's acting out. But I definitely can see that what she's saying is true, allegedly. We got to say allegedly, but
Yeah, and then she also mentioned that, after being sexually abused by her bodyguard, that she started to deal with older men, and I can see why, because from 3 to 6, an older man was doing things to her, which is like so heartbreaking. I feel like no little girl, no woman, no one should go through that.
yeah.
Because sexual abuse is very sensitive. And then, I also see why she's the way towards her mom.
Yeah, she didn't really, we've known from the past just how she was towards her mom, but now we don't see a lot of that.
And, she also mentioned that her mom is a racist. And so Ari in return asked her, how do you feel about your mom being around your daughter because she is black? And she was like, I don't feel like she's going to do anything to my daughter. But then she was like, my mom is a racist, but she still dates black men. How do you feel about that?
That's weird, but I do think there's it goes both ways with that. Like there's a lot of racist men that date black women. There's a lot of racist black men that date white women as well. So like, that's not odd to me, because it does happen and we do see it. It explains why Danny is with a black man, though. How she likes.
Yeah, I feel like it's to spite her mom.
She does a lot to spite her mom. So like that it explains her life a lot. Like the more she's opening up about it, it definitely explains a lot of her actions and why she does what she does and why she allows things in her relationship as far as abuse and certain things like that. Like it's starting to make sense.
I feel like she allows the abuse because literally from 3 to 6, she's not fully developed yet, and then 13 to 16, she don't have that mental maturity. So
Yeah.
everything she went through was abuse. So everything she's gonna receive is abuse because she think the abuse is love.
And I will say too, I was kind of combing through the comments on the Shade Room, and a lot of men had questions about why is she so hypersexual, basically. And I think with abuse, like it can go either way. Like it either turns the person into being very sexual or not. Like it's like, I don't know, there's like no in between with it. It's like, or they may turn gay or whatever the case is. Like they just don't want to deal with men at all anymore after that.
Yeah.
But like I just don't want to judge her. Now that we know, you know, it's really sad to see. And then even when she turned 18 and making all that money from her first was it OnlyFans video, $80 million off of her first OnlyFans. Like, I mean, that's a lot of money for 18 years old, her being legal. What? She was 18, right?
Yeah, she was 18.
Yeah, so not even 21 yet. So 18, making $80 million, and they just want to see you because you're 18. Even that, like, that's weird to me.
That is weird, but in her world, it kind of makes sense because that's all that she's used to. And I'm happy that we know this information on her because personally it makes me view her in a different light. You know, I'm definitely team
Bhad Baby.
Bhad Baby.
Because I heard y'all talking about us calling her Bad Barbie. Hey, listen. The way she spelled it is a little dyslexic. So it's Bhad Baby.
And then another thing that highlighted to me when she was on Ari's cooking show was Ari asked her, how are you going to deal in the future when your daughter gets older and sees everything about you on the internet? And she was like, you know, I'm going to just talk to her. To me, like, her demeanor is very, like, open book, very relaxed. I feel like she's very set and settled in the money that she made. And because she's went through so much, in a way, she does act really mature.
To a certain
to an extent, because I feel like everything that she went through is only so much of growing up you can expect her to be.
Right. Yeah, and I think too when you're talking about like internet is forever. So I don't think she knows the severity of what she's doing right now, but like just recently we had something with Kanye tweeting something about Kim. Let me read the tweet. And this is from her sex tape it's just, you know, you got to be careful who you dealing with and your baby daddies and all, who you choose to be with. But, you know, the tweet was just out of nowhere. So it says, Kanye tweeted, told Ray J we need to hit Kim from both sides for the Superstar Part 2.
That's wild.
That's wild. And then now she has 4 kids, you know, that are grown, that is old enough to see
And she
this.
have daughters.
Daughters, like 2 daughters, 2 sons. It doesn't even matter. Like, this is, you know, they're at the age ranging from like 5 to like 10. So, very impressionable. You know, it's embarrassing. She's not thinking anything that she did at 20 years old is going to come back to her kids now. So you do have to be very careful of the internet. And even Ari said her son says stuff about her posting, her fighting his dad. He's seen a video of them fighting on Instagram, you know. So it's just like you do have to be very careful about what you put out there.
Yeah, she was like, me and your dad have to sit down and have a conversation with you about this. You know, but he saw it. It's right there on YouTube. So it's there forever. So I feel like that's the whole point of everything.
Yeah. All right. So,
but then touching base on Alabama, I feel like this stood out a lot because it shows her being a culture vulture to a different extent. So Alabama was recently on Jay Cinco's live stream, and she had them over to her dad's house, and literally they were playing a card game, and it was like, do ding dong ditch. And they're like, we can't do that. We're black. And basically she was like, what is it gonna hurt? Nothing is gonna happen.
Like, she literally had the most confused face on her. Like, what do you mean? You don't know.
Yeah, like
these kids, first of all, they were tall too. Tall, black, nice looking man, but
short, whatever. Like, they were so black in a rich neighborhood.
Yeah. You know better. And I'm glad that they were smart enough to stand up for themselves and say, hey, I don't think that's a good idea. Because they definitely said, I'm not doing that. That's not a good idea. But what if they was impressionable? That could have been a completely different story.
But then just typical, she's like, oh, y'all are so boring. Y'all don't want to do anything in the card game.
Yeah, not really realizing what she's asking them to do. Because you could have risked their whole life playing just a little card game or whatever you're trying to do.
And then another thing that really rubbed me the wrong way with Alabama is she's literally sitting there trying to pick out a card, what we gonna do next on a little card game. And her friend, where's my fork at? her friend is eating. She's grubbing. She's eating. So Alabama was like, can you get me a fork? And the friend's like, so for a second while I'm watching it, I'm like, is she gonna give her fork? I'm like, is she gonna give her fork?
And it's the friend.
She really enjoyed her
friend. Which one is friend? Who's the friend?
This the friend. This the friend.
And she got to get up and get her fork.
And she got to go get her a fork. Not even from the mean house. Probably the other house.
Right.
But anyway.
That's a long walk to get that fork.
So I'm reading the comments, and I don't know if, the comments were saying like, it just seems like she's acting a little taken aback because they're on stream, but it seems like she always is her little doo-dog. Like, she does what she wants her to do. So anyway, the friend is just like,
don't act brand new now.
Right? So then Alabama turns to her, and she was like, are you okay?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what I would have told her, because yeah,
I know, but people only do what you allow. Like, just how the other friends shut her down. Like, girl, we not finna go knocking on these people's door.
No.
At night, and it looked like it was nighttime.
But to me just saying all of that is just another way of showing how privileged she is and how oblivious she is. I feel like she needs to just stick to taking the pictures and
hush. Like, literally just be cute, because you literally could be just like an icon, just like taking pictures and like hush.
Yeah, and then on top of that, it was so disappointing. Not unexpected, but it was so disappointing that she couldn't understand why her black friends did not want to do ding dong ditch, and why her black friend didn't want to be a servant and get her a fork. But you on the internet messing with both of these different black dudes once again. So it's like, you're a culture vulture.
I think she feels like because she hangs out with a certain crowd that she can get away with certain things, and that's not it. And people been calling her out about it. They've been calling her out, so she see it. But hopefully she learned from it, grow, move on, and that's all we can hope
just
for.
Learn from it. So what's new, Bae?
So we're going to tap into the Karmelo Anthony case. This is not the basketball player. This is a young boy who who ran track out of high school. He was a senior. In
Texas.
In Texas, yeah. They were at a regional track meet. The boy who got stabbed, he was a football player, so he didn't run track. He was just there, I guess, to see.
With his twin brother.
Yeah, with his twin brother. Karmelo was there, I guess, just looking to see as well. He wasn't running that day, but he does run track for his high school. They go to different high schools. This is extremely sad.
It's sad because he's a young boy.
Yeah.
And so basically what happened was Karmelo Anthony was at the track meet. No, he wasn't running that day, but he does run track. And he was under the tent. It was raining pretty heavy. And these twins came up and basically, Ashton. And they told him to move like from his seat. And Karmelo Anthony was like, I'm not moving out of my seat. And so the twin literally gripped him up. Allegedly gripped him up and was like, you need to move from your seat. Allegedly. And so Karmelo Anthony, he's like, I'm not
moving. Which rightfully so, because like, you're not going to come here and then you're going to tell me to move out of my seat. I do understand that part. I think I want to know how it got to the escalation of him grabbing his bag and him going into his bag to the point where he felt like he had to defend himself. I think a lot of that story is missing, and it's just like one-sided from what the twin brother is saying. So I think we get lost in what the twin is saying versus what
really happened,
which is the truth, and trying to get to the bottom, because the boy Karmelo, he has a 4.0 GPA. He's never been in trouble. He's a honor student. He runs track. He does what he needs to do. So this is weird for someone who comes from a good family, 2-parent household. Again, never been in trouble. I do want to know why he felt the need to bring a knife to the track meet. I think a lot of that backstory is missing from that.
For him to feel threatened enough to bring a knife, maybe he was bullied prior to at school.
Something,
because I don't feel like he would necessarily just bring a knife to school just to bring a knife, especially being a smart student. He's focused on his sports and he came from a good family. It's just, to me, it's no logical reason why he would just randomly bring a knife at school. The guy gripped Ashton, gripped him up allegedly. And, he's like, if you do it again, allegedly, then this is how I'm going to defend myself. So obviously something happened in the moment to where Karmelo Anthony felt like he did need to defend himself. So it's him. So it's basically 2 against 1. So I don't feel like we have the full story when it comes to that. And I feel like it's truly sad.
It is. And then also too, like, I don't know what part of Texas it was, but Texas is a racist state. So maybe he was carrying it because he felt like he needed to defend himself just in general.
But at a track meet though?
I mean, he might just carry it just because anything can happen to you there. I mean, there's sundown towns. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So like I can kind of see, but I think we got to see the trial to really know what happened, because I think they want to protect him and stuff with that. Because you don't want to let out too much information and then the defense could come back and say something else, So a lot of that is just the lawyer trying to protect him right now. And then they're just raising money for him. So GoFundMe took down Karmelo Anthony's funding. But of course, Ashton Metcalf, between both of the parents, because apparently they got 2 separate GoFundMes, which I'm not sure how they're allowed to do that.
And then they made it literally the day after it happened.
Like right after. It's up to like, I think between the 2, it's like at $1 million for him. Seems extreme. And I think the outrage of people saying that Karmelo doesn't need a GoFundMe for what he's going through is like, why are you questioning that part of it? And then he's only at, I want to say, up to like $300,000. They put his bond at $1 million. So you want this little boy to stay in jail.
Basically, they want to ruin his future.
Oh, yeah.
They want to ruin his future, because why is no one questioning why Ashton and them have two
Is
different
bullying and carrying
but they
on.
have two different GoFundMe accounts.
Yeah.
Like they want to have no mercy on him.
Yeah, and then allegedly the father was I don't know if he was arrested, but he was accused of sexual assault. So that's a broken home there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just odd to me, the way people are divided and how they think that this little boy doesn't need a GoFundMe for his situation, but the other boy can have $1 million.
It's odd to me that they try to dissect the situation and also try to determine this based off a skin tone. That's the weird part to me. And then on top of that, they made his $1 million. That's too excessive.
Yeah, like how is he?
He's never had a background of anything going on. It's sad.
Yeah, he's extremely smart. He's talented. I think just this one bad decision could cost him a lot, unfortunately. I don't think it should cost him his entire life in jail. I really don't. I do think that when we're talking about laws and self-defense and stuff like that, this is something that everyone needs to take accountability for. Like when you created them laws, apparently you didn't create them for black people, of course. Like it's only one-sided. So had it been flipped, I don't even think the white boy would have went to jail for it. I really don't. I think it would have been a more investigation. I think it would have been more on the quiet side too. I also think that they would have swept it under the rug like they normally do. It wouldn't have been publicized on the news.
No.
Like they would have made that quietly go away. So, the verdict will be done tomorrow, Monday. And we'll see if they're going to lower the bond. Hopefully they do.
Which I hope they do lower the bond.
It's just one-sided.
It's very one-sided.
And us not knowing the complete facts to everything, and everyone's throwing their judgment out. Basically throwing him under the bus before we even know any information. Like the verdict is basically already out, and I don't like that for him.
I hate that for him. I just feel like it's very sad, and with that situation happening, I feel like it's in between things that happened with the altercation, and I don't feel like Karmelo Anthony deserves a $1 million bond. I feel like it should be lower
for sure,
and I don't feel like he deserves for his future to be ruined because of what happened, because I personally feel like he felt threatened in some way, shape, or form.
Well, the law in self-defense is if you feel threatened. There is no amount of threatened. There is no, like it's if you feel threatened. And I feel like if y'all are going to have these self-defense laws and have these kids carrying guns at 18,
then allow people to use it.
I mean, at this point, if that is what y'all are allowing, I mean, y'all are lowering the age to conceal to 18, you know what I mean? So like this is what's going to happen.
But you have to wait until you're 21 to drink.
Right.
That don't make no sense.
It doesn't make any sense. But like this is why I feel like also too gun laws are important. And although he didn't use a gun, you get what I'm saying? Like I think we got to be more mindful. Like there should have been metal detectors out of everything that's happening. A lot of these shootings too has happened in Texas. So I'm not understanding why we're having a group of people at this regional track meet full of kids, and we don't have the proper metal detectors. We're not checking things properly. The security, like, who is there a witness in this fight? Who let it get this far to where he's going to grab his bag? Like, no one's seen anything. We just, like, I just feel like a lot of responsibility needs to be taken. This is a lesson learned. Unfortunately, I'm not sure that the outcome is going to be in his favor, unfortunately, because we've seen it many, many times again, and it's sad.
Yeah, it's like history repeating itself. It was never in our favor. It was never in the black men's favor, especially comparing towards a black and a white man. It's never in the black's favor. So this is very devastating for our community.
Yeah.
And I pray for his family, and I pray that he has a sane mind and he's able to deal with everything that he's going to encounter. This is truly sad.
Hopefully. I really do. I hope they get him out of jail, like at least for the bond until his trial, because that is the mental effect that it has on him. Just being like, jail for a kid who's never been in trouble is a lot. Like, I mean,
and he came from a good family.
Yeah. And for me, I know they consider that. But again, considering the situation, they're probably not going to consider that he hasn't been in trouble. And
personally, I feel like a lot of considerations is thrown out the window from the moment he walks in and they literally see his skin color. That's how I feel, and that's just the reality of it, and no one really wants to talk about it, but that's the world we live in.
Yeah.
And even like in different slick comments, anything like that's we live in a racist world.
Yeah, we do. And we're going to see it play out. But hopefully he gets the bond. Hopefully they raised enough money to get him out, and we'll keep y'all updated.
Yes. Woo! I needed that. Bae, I need a drink. Can you pour me up? Hey babes, so today's drink is a tequila sunrise, and it's super cute and super simple. You can make this at home with just 3 easy ingredients: grenadine, orange juice, and reposado tequila, because we're reposado girlies. So I feel like today's drink is super duper cute. It's giving, we in Miami turning up another night. You know, it's giving the Miami vibes. It's giving on a beach, on a yacht somewhere, like, you know, just like real cute on a beach somewhere on a yacht, drinking, having fun with your friends. Okay, so I don't know if you guys know, but as an esthetician, I always like to add some type of skin benefit to my drinks. So oranges are super duper beneficial in vitamin C, antioxidants, hydration, and fiber. So what that does, it boosts the hydration in your skin, and it increases the collagen production, and it's super duper good for your skin. So sip up, babes, and enjoy the glow. All right, so our next segment is Bae Talk, where we'll be talking marriage and relationship.
All right, so we're going to get into, I know y'all seen a viral video of Neyo talking about his poly relationships again. What's your thoughts on him having 4 girlfriends, but they're not allowed to have relations outside of him? No, they can't have no man. I guess he laid down the guidelines for them, and they agreed to it. They could leave at any time. But he also said that he can add girls as long as the group is okay with it.
First of all, I don't agree with the poly life. I need my man to be monogamous. Monogamous. One woman. One man to me, boom, boom. Yeah. I need one man. So, and I just feel like if you're going to do poly, if you're going to branch out and find another girl number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10, why can I not have another guy? I'm sharing you with 3 other girls. That's crazy. So I don't agree with poly. And I don't agree with what he's saying. Like, it gives like, this is my little cult, and I'm going to control it. Yeah,
I feel like in America, they do poly wrong. Like, if you think about like in other countries and stuff like that, it's very different. I think Americans kind of like try to make it what they think it should be and take from little pieces of the poly, like, oh, I want all these girlfriends, but you're not committed to any of them. In other countries, they have multiple wives, but all of the wives first of all, you have to have enough money to take care of however many wives that you want.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times they're not living under the same household. They have their own household. It's just done very differently. Like, yeah, he got a wife here. He may have a wife, a couple of doors down somewhere, or whatever the case is. But then most of the time they're not under one roof. They basically live a separate life, and he takes care of them that way. So I just feel like Americans, they're doing it very selfish, and it's more of them versus the woman. Because, okay, I feel like poly could work if, one, you got to have enough money. Two,
definitely got to have the coin.
If you're going to do it, let's say one is in Africa somewhere, okay, and then you got one
in Dubai.
And you may have one in America somewhere. That's fine, but when they're all living under the same household and they're literally getting nothing out of it. The woman is not getting not one thing out of it besides being your girlfriend. When she leaves, what are you getting?
I know recently, aside from Neyo, with the poly situation, I was on YouTube watching cheaters get caught, or they're putting their person in a scenario. And it was this couple, they were married and they had a girlfriend, but the girlfriend was also dating the wife and also dating the husband. But with them, what they explained was it's different levels to the poly life. Some people have a close relationship, but their relationship is not open. So meaning, yes, they're married, they have a girlfriend, but their girlfriend can't be with nobody else, and they're not going to be with anybody else. So,
and that's what I feel like. I feel like if you're gonna do poly, like, at least commit to the people that you're doing it with. Like, you're taking the wife part out of the poly, and then now you're just having a bunch of girlfriends, and then they're there until you don't like them no more, and then they go on about their day or whatever. But they're not just gonna go on about their day because you've been taking care of them. And so once you kick them out of the poly group, okay, what is she gonna do now? Because her whole life was dedicated to you and making you happy. But, like, what's the end goal?
I just feel like with the poly, for one, the man, like, you need to be very financially stable, above and beyond. For me, I'm just not understanding, if you're of the American culture, why do you even want to do a poly relationship? It's all about the sex part of it. Because as a man, why would you want to deal with 4 different emotions, 4 different feelings? The only benefit I see for it as a man is that's the only benefit I see out of it.
Yeah, I don't really see, because one woman can do a lot in that instant, but I could see where, okay, the sex part may lack off.
I feel like it's heavy in the sex part.
Yeah, but how long can you sustain that? 4 girlfriends? Because even when he was talking about it in the interview, he's saying that it's a lot. He's not saying he wants to add another one, because he understands that it's a lot. Because you got to keep all of them happy. And eventually, they're going to fall out. Eventually, one of them is not going to like each other, and then the girl gets kicked out because the girl's ganged up on her. That's what girls do. Okay? Eventually, the girl is going to be the main one, the one. Someone's going to be the main one. You could try to keep it whatever, but, like, you're naturally going to form a connection with one of the girl, the main one. Like, it's naturally gonna come. As much as you want to keep it as equal as possible. That's why I think if you do it where they're in separate households, they're okay with that. Okay, you're taking care of them, you're committed or whatever, cool, I guess. I don't know, I personally wouldn't go for that. I'm more on the monogamy side, but
one man to me.
Yeah. Because I don't know about all that sharing and the fluids and whatnot. And
that's another thing. Like, we ain't talked about the doctor's appointment. We ain't talked about, sir.
Yeah, because everyone.
Are you only sticking at no protection? All of them getting.
I think that's why he says he doesn't want them dating other people. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, even though they're not dating other people, you, one person, are still sticking your sausage meat in 4 different women.
Yeah, no, that it's not good for the pH.
Like,
at all. It don't matter if they know. It's just not good for the pH. But he got money. I'm sure he got a doctor coming. I'm
not gonna say what it's giving.
It's
giving. Get your Monstead.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's a lot of fluids mixing around. But I do. I mean, it's okay if everyone, I guess, agrees to it and you're open and you're honest about it and everybody knows what's going on. Because it kind of seems like he has those rules in place, especially with him saying, like, the door is open. You know, you can leave at anytime you want. Like, he's not keeping you hostage. But I just feel like, okay, she did a lot to be here and to be with you, and then at the end of it, she just goes on about her day. Like, I don't...
Yeah, but see that, as I'm listening to you talk, that makes me question, like, his emotional part in it.
He's not emotionally tied to them.
None of them.
No, so and I think that's the whole point of the whole poly thing. Yeah, most men are more on the sex side. Sex-driven. Especially when they don't necessarily... Like, he has the money, I guess. So he's like, okay, I just want the women, I guess. But I think he's missing the part where women, if you really get a real good woman, she can help you. You're a millionaire now, but you could be a billionaire if you get the right one who's helping you moving certain things around and very supportive or whatever the case is. Like, it just depends on the type of woman that you pick to be on your side. Like, you don't need 4 different women.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot. If you want it, cool. But again, I would say if you are in a poly relationship, then yes, you need to be open and honest. A lot of girls are in these relationships and don't even know it.
Yeah.
So, you know.
And I feel like get that point, men these days are using the poly life as
an excuse. But they're doing it wrong, in my opinion. I think they're just doing it to get the sex part and to have as many women as they want to have, but they're forgetting the emotional part of a woman. So I do feel like once a couple of those girls get X'd out, it's going to be a Lifetime story or a documentary about surviving Neyo or whatever the case is eventually.
Yeah.
And we'll be like, girl, we seen it. You chose to be there. You know.
Yeah, I can't do it. I can't be in a poly relationship because what's mine is mine. I don't want to share that. I don't want to mix up no fluids.
Because women, you know, we emotional. Like, we get...
Yeah, we're emotional.
We get attached. Like, that's my man. And then, you know, I don't know about that one. I don't think it's sustainable, should I say.
It's not.
Just based off the fact that he's not giving them nothing in return besides maybe, I guess, a good time.
He also said that they got to make their own money.
Oh, he did say that.
He don't even give them an allowance, nothing. So how it is you have a regular 9-to-5 and you in this poly relationship with Neyo?
Yeah, it's a no for me.
That don't make no sense.
The trip. That don't make no sense. If you're going to be in a poly relationship, it needs to really be beneficial.
Like, if I'm in a poly relationship with Neyo, like, why I had to work?
Yeah, that's crazy work there.
But anyway.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But, you know, the guy's going to have their opinion. As long as you guys are honest and open about it, most women would probably go for it, honestly. If you say, hey, I don't want to be in a committed relationship, you know, but I have this girl that I'm talking to, you probably going to get away with it.
I don't know. I can't trust that because you don't want to be in a monogamous relationship, but it's other girls. Who's to say that other girl is being honest to you about what she's doing?
She not. But that's the life you chose.
And who's she doing it with?
I mean, that's the life you chose. So
it gives clinic every week or so.
It does. It's a lot going on out there. I worked in a pharmacy, y'all. I know it's a lot going on out there. Like, just like in one area. So I can imagine a whole
But
state.
I'm not gonna say too much because some people really out here. That's your lifestyle, and if that's what y'all want to do, that's perfectly fine. Y'all got the strength. I can't do it.
I just think if men are being more honest about it, they could really get away with a lot. All this lying and want a marriage, but you're not acting as if you want the marriage. Just be honest, and you can probably have what you want.
They could be honest, but I think another part is they think that kings in Bakwe. I'm the most popular African king. I got all the money. I could have 6 wives.
And he can't, but they don't want wives. They want girlfriends. That's the problem. That's where I don't see where, like, we're just taking little pieces of the poly, but we're not really doing what needs to be done. It's the same thing with marriage. Like, okay, I'm going to get married. Okay, you get married. Okay, you're not putting in the work to be married. So, like, what is that? You could say that with marriage as well, So I just think the point is to be honest and be honest with yourself. And that is what Neyo is doing. Cool. That's his thing. But, I do feel like there will be a fallout from it. Just being that women get emotional and you're not giving them anything in return necessarily.
Yeah.
Is there like a check at the end of it?
They got to work for themselves. They got to do they got to make
so like, I don't know. I don't know about that. It's not necessarily about the money, but it kind of like...
It's like, at the end of it all, it's like, what are you really doing it for? Yeah. But at the end of the day, that's clearly not for you because you're happily married. Yep. And that's clearly not for me because I'm not that girl. Yeah. All right. So now we'll be getting into Bae male, real scenarios, fake names.
All right, so our first question, it says, Dear Bae Talk, I've been seeing someone for a few months and things have been going really, really well. We laugh a lot, have great conversation, and the chemistry is strong. But recently, I found out they're still active on dating apps. We haven't had the we are exclusive talk yet, but I assumed we were heading in that direction. Now I'm confused and a little hurt. Should I bring it up or am I overreacting? So what you think?
I feel as though if they did not have the exclusive talk as yet, then that's a little bit different. Versus if you're not exclusive with the person, then it shouldn't matter if they're dating other people aside from you or if they're on dating apps trying to explore different options. It's another thing if you are exclusive with that person, then that's considered cheating or doing some behind your partner's back.
Yeah. A conversation needs to be had. Like if you're feeling all these feelings, and that person isn't cutting off like the other people that they're talking to or trying to talk to or trying to get to know, maybe y'all connection isn't as strong as you think it is. I think that people get too attached too soon a lot of times. And I think that people expectations are high when it comes to dating. I know a lot of men, like women get a lot of slack for dating multiple men at one time. And to me, I just feel like if you're not having sex with all of them or either of them, it really doesn't matter. Like you got to get to know people, to know what you want. Like, because you may not have everything that she's looking for. So she's dating people to find what matches with her.
She's trying to find a caliber of man that fits her. Like at the end of the day, I feel like as a woman, for one, it's too much double standard. And I feel like as a woman, if you want to explore different options and go on dates and get treated nice, is dating does not always have to do with, because I'm going on a date with 5 guys, that means I'm giving my body to 5 guys. And I feel like that's an immature mindset that a lot of people need to get out of. It's just a part of courting.
Yeah, I think too, like this generation don't understand courting.
No, they don't at all.
Yeah, I feel like there's like they don't understand it. So yeah, you're going to spend your money and you're going to take her out on dates, or don't spend your money and find out how to take her out on dates that don't require money. It may take thinking outside the box. You get what I'm saying? But she may actually appreciate that way more than the guy that's taking her to Ruth Chris, because she done been to Ruth Chris 1,000 times.
Yeah.
You know, and you're the guy that's taking her to a picnic in a park, or like just doing something different. Maybe you taking her on a walk or trail or whatever, where y'all are actually having conversation, where you can dive deep into things. I think men nowadays are just worried about, like, am I wasting my time? Am I wasting my money?
Or like, let me not do too much because I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to look like a simp. I don't want to look like I'm doing too much for a girl that's not already my girl. But at the end of the day, as well as women, you need to realize that the way you act and the way you present yourself and what you offer to the person, that's them considering, can I even make you my girlfriend? Can I even make you my boyfriend? Yeah. So I just feel like it doesn't have to be a 10-star restaurant.
No.
It could be anything, but you have to show that courtship. You have to
show you're interested.
Yeah.
And I feel like he did say that he was showing that he was interested in chemistry. Everything was great. But you also can't be scared to have that conversation as well. Like, you need to tell her or him, whatever, we need to cut whoever else we're talking to. We need to cut off because I feel something strong with you. You know, like, it's just a conversation. And if that person is like, oh, okay, I'll do that, like, I'm really feeling you too, then guess what? Now you got a girlfriend or boyfriend. I don't know. But it's just that simple to me. Like,
yeah, but that's where the exclusiveness comes in. Because granted, yeah, he did all these nice things, and that's a part of the dating aspect. But if man or woman, you didn't have that conversation with the other person you're dating, you know, let's make it exclusive, then you're not exclusive. So therefore, if you're not exclusive, you can't expect exclusive things, regardless of being treated nice. So I feel like that's the issue with that. And I feel like had they had that conversation, she probably would not be on the dating apps. You know? Because personally, just a back end story, a very long time ago, I was in a relationship with someone, and we were well in a relationship, and I discovered that he was on a dating app. And it was so funny because his zodiac was my actual zodiac sign, which I don't dwell in the zodiac signs. I'm off of that. That's not my beliefs. But
it's just weird.
It was just really weird. Lied about his height and everying. So I just feel like he put a height that was taller than his height.
Okay.
No shade, no tea. But I'm going to just say that. But at the end of the day, you know, I had to say, being in a relationship and on dating app, that is considered cheating. If you haven't had the exclusive conversation with the other person, then it's not considered anything because you're not exclusive. Exactly. And I feel like some people, they don't
y'all are
understand.
Acting like girlfriend and boyfriend, but you never put a title on it.
Yeah, some people really don't understand the difference between I'm fucking you, I'm sorry, and I'm talking to you and I'm dating you, and okay, we're official. A lot of people, especially nowadays, they don't recognize the difference. So expectations are very misconstrued, and that's why people's feelings are not leveled out, because they don't know the difference between, okay, I'm just talking to him or I'm conversing with him. That does not make him yours. Right. Technically, he's not yours until you guys are married. But that's another topic for another day.
Yeah, and I want to chime in too, because like I'm just thinking about like with me and my husband, like we met in high school, but we didn't date until after high school. He came back from college. That man ain't asked me who I was talking to. Not one time. Literally did not ask me who I'm talking to, whatever the case is. He took me out on a date when he came back home from college. Took me out to the movies. And it was late at night too. He was like, "What you doing?" I was like, "No, nothing, at my grandma's house. I really want to see this movie." Yeah, I really want to see this movie though. It was Beyond the Lights, with the bodyguard and the superstar. She fell in love. Super girly movie. I didn't think he was going to want to see it. He was like, "Oh, it's playing tonight at such and such. You got time tonight to go? And I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
I got time to go. I ain't doing that. I'm at my grandma's house.
Yeah.
You know, chilling, hanging out with her. And I left and went to the movies with him. And basically the rest was history. But I'm thinking he never asked me if I was talking to anybody else. I think after we was dating and talking for a little bit, probably like 2 or 3 months, we had that conversation. Like, you don't need to be talking to nobody else. And of course, it takes a minute to cut things off because people try to pop back in your phone, you know, after you that hey big head text and all that other stuff.
Hey big head.
Yeah. All that, you be like,
what you doing?
Yeah, no. So once y'all have that talk, y'all exclusive or whatever, then you know you're exclusive. But if you don't have that talk, then
y'all not exclusive.
Y'all not exclusive. But of course, I wasn't dating anybody else. I was only dating my husband.
And I feel like just to like kind of just touch on what you just said as far as your husband not asking about anybody else, I feel like I don't want to say it plays a part in the man being insecure, but it's like focus on the goal.
Yeah, his goal was to get me.
Why are you worried about anybody else? Like, you should be the one, like, I'm putting all in. It doesn't matter what Joe and I'm doing. I'm doing this. And you know you finna bag her.
But I will say he did. But he was nervous about asking me to be his girlfriend.
Because he really liked you and cared about you. Because you also have other guys, like, that are probably not nervous. Or they jump to be like, you know what? Can you be my girlfriend? Be in a relationship with me? It's because, I don't know if a lot of y'all familiar with the term love bombing. Yeah. Like sometimes like someone will ask you to be in a relationship prematurely because they're love bombing you. So I feel like that was a good sign that he was a little bit nervous to be like, you know, do you want to be my girlfriend? Because he really like actually liked you versus just doing it for whatever other reason. So,
and two, he just like when he basically I had to tell him, you know, like, when you gonna ask me to be your girlfriend? Like, because what is this?
But how long?
I think we were talking and dating for like 3 months. And then, so our anniversary is New Year's. Not New Year's. January 2nd. Because I asked him New Year's after the kiss. Like, what we doing? You know what I mean? Because granted, he treated me very nice. So, yeah. And then the way he asked me out, you guys.
Was so cute.
It was January 2nd, and I love pizza. Pizza fanatic.
Cheese pizza, to be exact.
Yeah, because I don't eat meat. But he bought a pizza, and it said, "Will you be my girlfriend?" in the pizza box. Like, yes, it was cheesy, literally. But it was really cute. Yeah, like, it was something out of a movie. So, yeah, very cute, and we've been together ever since.
That's really cute.
And can't nobody ever say that they've done that for me. You know what I mean? Like, he know what he did to get me. So, I ain't going nowhere. Forever. Locked in.
Forever. Locked in.
You just got to think outside the box. Even if it's corny or whatever. If you think it's corny, you love that girl, she gon'.
Yeah, I feel like they just need to get over. Listen to what their homeboys have to say. Listen to what your homegirls have to say. Whatever the case may be, and just do it. What you think might be cheesy is probably not cheesy. Yeah.
No, it was so cute. I think I cried.
That's cute. So we're going to get into our next segment, which is Bae Court. All right, guys, this is Bae Court. We'll be getting to this story where this girl worked at this strip club, and she allegedly told another girl who was there that, you know, to watch out for your drink. You don't want no one to put nothing in your drink. And the girl got upset, and she literally grabbed the drink and bust her in her face with it. She has, her whole lip is gashed, is damn near open. She has a whole scar right here on her face. And she was a very attractive, she was an attractive woman prior to that. And it's like, I just feel like that's some hating. Yeah. So what do you think about that?
I think that definitely some hating stuff. I don't even think she can open like her mouth right now too. Like her teeth are like all
and her teeth are also loose and messed up.
Yeah, and I think she did a GoFundMe and she raised like $30,000 so far. So that's good for her because she's She's gonna have to get a lot of work done.
She gonna need new teeth. She gonna need probably scar.
She gonna need a lot of scar cream.
Scar removal.
Yeah, because the scar is literally from like here
tape.
all the way down like here. Like it's a long.
It's in her lip too. Like it's really bad. But my whole thing is when it comes to that, I just feel as though I'm a girl's girl at the end of the day. But if I'm in the club and I see another girl drink, it's just there. In my head, I'm gonna be like, you know, she should do something about that. But if I don't know that female, I don't know what temperament she on. Me as another beautiful female, I don't know how she's gonna receive me saying, you know, cover up your drink. You don't want no one to put nothing in it. That's
but
all
I think
that girl
if
did.
it's coming from a worker, because she works at the club.
But you know, when liquor is involved, they're not gonna think about, oh, that's a worker, and then on top of that, the environment she works in.
Yeah. I really do feel like, though, that the other girl overreacted a lot. So, apparently, allegedly, the girl that got hit with the bottle, she went over to her friends to have I think it was like a security guard and like maybe one of her other friends. And she was just talking to them. And the girl that she told to cover the drink allegedly comes over to where she's at and was like, "Are you talking about me?" And then the one that got hit with the glass, she turns back around and is like, no, I'm talking to my friends or whatever.
Yeah.
And then allegedly, ain't no alleged because she really did hit her in the face with the glass. But allegedly after that conversation or that little bit, she hits her in the face with the glass. So to me, it's like, girl, you got a temperament issue. Because nothing is, I don't care how much liquor is, and you don't even know that girl. She's just telling you to cover your drink. And then even if she goes over to one of her friends and have a conversation about her telling you to cover the drink, why does that warrant you to hit her in the face with a glass, causing what you caused? Like, just pour the drink on her, I guess. But like hitting somebody in the face to where the glass breaks on it and it is cutting their skin, like that is...
She did that with some force.
A lot of force, like
she
hate,
mushed
anger.
Her in her face with that glass. It's what it's giving, like this, the glass. And I rammed that in the face with the glass.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like, you know, if you were the worker telling me, you know what, girl, like cover up your drink. Like, I know this club, whatever. You don't even have to say that much, but just, hey girl, like cover up your drink. As a female, I would be so considerate of that. I'm like, wow, you know, thank you. Even if I don't express that, like I'm gonna be thankful. My first thought is not gonna be grab this and ram you in your face to the point where your lip, you have to get lip correction. You have a whole scar on your face. I feel like that was so messed up. And it's like, because the girl who got injured, she was a pretty girl. She is a pretty
she's
girl.
Still very pretty girl.
Yeah, she's still a pretty girl. But
and the girl that hit her was a pretty girl.
But you never know what it could have stemmed from. It could have been the liquor that prompted the other girl to mash it in her face with the glass. Or it could have been on some hate and stuff. You just never know.
It's giving more so on the hate inside.
The hate inside.
But I will
even though the other girl was pretty.
It don't matter.
Yeah,
because she may not think she is pretty. That's an insecurity thing. Especially if you think you're being talked about. That's insecurity.
Yeah,
for you to even where you want to put your hands on someone. And I don't care if the next girl talking about me that I don't even know her.
Especially at the club, like if you're talking about me, especially at a strip club,
right?
Like, girl, get on. Like, no one was talking about you. She was literally trying to probably save you from getting into some shit.
Yeah. Like, even if she was talking about you, and now you're going to go to jail for a girl you don't even know. And you
because she simply just said, you know what? Cover up your drink. But now you're going to jail. Now you just fucked up someone's face.
Yeah.
And now you're going to jail.
Yeah. So, completely wrong. I hope she gets some time in jail.
How much we should give her?
Oh, in our court, because like we're girls, so and we don't play that. So
we don't. We don't.
Not okay. Not with it. I don't really care what her reasoning is. Like, it's one thing to fight
You
someone.
have no reasoning
Zero.
for doing what you did. Zero
reasoning.
to that girl face. You dead ass wrong.
Yeah, and I don't know either of them. So it's like, I'm just looking at what you did and how the girl said how she came home to her kids and her kids got to see her face like that.
That's horrific.
Yeah. It's that was a lot for someone telling you to cover your drink. So you're going to jail, in Bae jail.
You're going to jail for 145 years.
Damn. It's life.
I can't stand. I cannot stand.
No hater.
A hater.
Can't stand
I
it.
cannot. Because I'm pretty, but I'm very humble.
Right.
Like, yeah, I look in the mirror, I feel I see it. But I'm humble. So
Right.
it's like, I would never, ever try to mess up another girl's face. Like, you bogus for that. So because of that, you're going to jail for 145 years.
Period.
Yeah.
When you old and
I'm
ugly.
happy about it. I don't even got to consult with my lawyers in the back. You're going to jail.
Yeah, so verdict in, and you need to pay that girl however much her teeth cost.
That's 10 bands right there.
However much she make a day stripping, I guess.
We gonna say 1,000. No.
In Jacksonville?
Hold on, wait. I don't know if she's in Jacksonville. Let me pull up my 30 calculator.
She in Jacksonville.
Okay, well, anyway.
Maybe like $300 a night.
To fix her teeth, that's $10,000 plus 300 plus the kids gotta eat $250 plus
Just time that shit by 100
times 100. Oh my god, you have to pay her $40,000. We're suing you for $40,000 and you have 145 years in jail.
Period. And you'll never be a bae.
Never.
Ever.
Ever.
Revolt. Bae revolt. Jail.
And we will see you on the next episode of Bae Talk. Make sure to like,
comment, subscribe,
and watch our previous episode if you haven't yet. Bye.